we'll probably be having the same discussion week in, week out with Ruben Amorim. Meanwhile, Liverpool manager Arne Slot has responded to some of the criticism that's been directed at Florian Wirtz so far this season.
There's so much focus on Florian, but the ones that have stayed behind, still in the team, haven't scored 4 goals or 12 assists as well. So he's been part of a team, Florian, that is on top of the league, that won 4 games. He's part of the team that won against Newcastle, that won against Arsenal, where the team of last season didn't win away at Newcastle, didn't win at home against Arsenal. So it's the way you want to look at it. Yes, he hasn't scored 4 goals or 12 assists in the first 4 games, but for me that's down to the quality we've faced, and he's part of a team that's number 1 in the league at the moment.
What's the way that you are looking at it, Stewart Robson?
I mean, he's a very good player. We saw that when he was playing in the Bundesliga. He was very clever in tight areas. At the moment, he's not playing at his best. I mean, when you go to a new club, sometimes it does take a little time to settle in. He might feel under pressure because he's such a big signing, but it's not quite working for him at the moment. It's going to be a big game in the Champions League this week because he's going to have to play against a team where they are going to be compact, they are going to be narrow, and he's the player that's got to pick out those passes. He's got to manipulate the ball and find that extra bit of space, play his little 1-2s. So he's a player that can do it, and I'm sure what he needs is one good game, an outstanding game where he maybe scores a couple of goals, creates a chance or 2 for other people, and he'll relax more, the crowd will relax more, and so will the press. He's a fraction away from being a top-class player, no doubt about it.
Is there a point from Arne Slot in the fact that he is saying it's not like anybody's been shining so far, but we're still, as a team, getting these results and not singling him out right now?
Well, he is factually correct in what he's saying, and I think when you go to a new club, it's not a guarantee that you're just going to hit the ground running, and when that's the case, you're changing country and club, and so that's it's a big move for people. Again, you look behind the scenes, I don't know what his family situation is, but he may have a family, he may have some young kids. So you're moving everybody in, and it's an upheaval. It's part of the job, we've all done it. But sometimes you don't know how it affects players differently. It takes them a little bit longer. And what you want when it is that scenario is exactly what Arne Slot said, is 4 wins out of 4. Because the questions are diminished slightly. They're still there, but they're not. If Liverpool had 2 wins out of 4, then the Florian Wirtz questions were becoming a lot stronger. It's a little bit like Mbappe because, Florian Wirtz has been a big star, an expensive star coming to Liverpool. But when Mbappe goes to Real Madrid and it's a bit of a struggle at the start, there's more questions. Well, there's more questions because it's Real Madrid, but there's more questions because Barcelona are flying. And so, if Kylian Mbappe had come in and it's win, and he's not playing great, he's getting the odd goal, it's a little easier. And I think for Florian Wirtz, it's the same. Liverpool they've not played anywhere near as well as last season thus far. There's been a change in shape, there's been a change at fullbacks, but they've scratched out the victories, and that gives your newbies time to fit in and find their feet. So that makes it a lot easier for a new player coming in.
What stood out to you, LA, from seeing him in Germany on the weekly to now?
Well, the guy just mentioned different club, different league, different country, and all those things, right? Different position. He's in a different position on the field. He's being asked to do something different than what he was at Bayer Leverkusen. He's given more responsibility to go and drift into the midfield, whereas under Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen, he had freedom to go and find the game however he wanted and however he felt it at the time. Sometimes he would be in wide areas and come off the line. Sometimes he would be underneath. Sometimes he would appear in the midfield because he chose to do so, not because positionally he is being asked to do that. I'm not as negative on Florian Wirtz as most people are. I actually think that against Burnley, you started to see some flashes of the things that he's capable of doing. It didn't quite end up in a goal. It didn't quite end up in an assist. But the movement was a whole lot better than he has been in the earlier part of the season, in the first couple of games. So I'm thinking Florian Wirtz is starting to get there. Patience. And when can you be patient? When the team is winning. Now, if you had gone off to a terrible start, then maybe you make different decisions. But at this point, the team is winning. He seems to be trending slightly. Let's not get crazy. Slightly. But he needs to be in a position where he is given the freedom to go find the game and feel the game. In fact, I'm certain that that's not the role he has right now at Liverpool. And if indeed his performances are going to change and going to be compared to what he did at Bayer Leverkusen, he has to have that similar role. He doesn't have that yet.
Just quickly on him. Again, there's a pressure on him. I think he's the most expensive transfer. And I've said this before, we've all seen him many times playing for Bayer Leverkusen in Germany. We all know, everybody on this show tonight knows how good a player he is. Liverpool fans do not. Most of them will not, I've said it before, most of them have got the Premier League blinkers on. It's all they see. And so they're looking at it, and they're okay with it, I'm sure, at the moment, but they're sitting saying, well, I know he's an expensive player, but where's this sort of superstar? And so that adds a pressure. Because we all know, we've seen it, him and Musiala. Some of the things they've done in the Bundesliga has been amazing. But if you're a Liverpool fan and you're sitting watching it and you're at the game, you're waiting for it. And I think that also can sometimes play in a player's mind as well. So I think from that perspective, we know the quality that he's got, but I think the paying public that go to Anfield are still waiting to see this little genius that we know produced so well in Germany. And it'll probably happen. It will probably happen. But he won't be the first player to have this big price tag that hasn't been able to do it in another league and in another country. I would be surprised if that's the case, but you can't rule it out.
I define him as in the best way possible, as a punk in Germany, with Bayer Leverkusen, in the way that he played, and with that sort of bravado and confidence, and off the script. He's playing very much on the script right now, and by the script of Liverpool. If he's going to be successful, he's got to get back to what makes him great. And what makes him great is going off script, showing that attitude, showing that punk with the ball that has the confidence to try different things. He hasn't quite yet done that. And maybe it's because he doesn't have the confidence to do it, maybe because he's trying to get his feet under him. It hasn't quite happened. But if that does come out, if he plays off the script, we're going to see the best version of Florian Wirtz.
Maybe it's coming in the Champions League. More Champions League games coming up over the next 2 days in this opening stages to the league phase. Liverpool will be up against Athletic.
We know what games are on the screen on the other room.
Yes, lots of those.
The two at the top for starters.
Bayern will be up against Chelsea. And what are you expecting from this game, Robbo? Bayern-Chelsea?
Well, Bayern have got off to a good start in their league. They're in the Bundesliga. They play some exciting football. I mean, they've got an injury to Upamecano. They'll try and dominate the game. But I've been quite impressed with Chelsea. I think Chelsea will have their best team available. They didn't play all their best players at the weekend against Brentford. Cole Palmer coming back into the side will be a great boost for them from the start of the game. I think they'll play with their normal wide players rather than the ones they used against Brentford. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Bayern will dominate possession, but on the counter-attack, Chelsea could cause 1 or 2 problems. I think it's going to be tight.
OK, so that was what's coming up tomorrow. We do have a show tomorrow, of course. We've got a show every single day.
You sound surprised.
we do have, I think, a show tomorrow.
We've got 2 more days of Champions League, so it's thrown me a little bit. But yes, Alexis will be with you tomorrow to take you through all of those games, and we'll be back with you on Thursday